Say bye-bye Beyblades! Baku gone! Get out of here! This is Pokemon Ultimatch, the latest and greatest in toy game stuff. It's the coolest toy I've gotten in years that I can show on YouTube. And you can get yours today by
flying all the way to Japan and picking them up yourself. But plane tickets are expensive!
So instead, I used today's sponsor, Zen Market.
Japan is like really cool, you know? They got cool stuff. Look at this rubbish! It's an actual bag! You can put your trash in it! Why don't they sell this here?
Enter Zen Market, a Japanese proxy shopping service with access to more than 10,000 online stores.
How do that many stores exist?
But it's easy. You pick your products through them. Those products get shipped to their warehouse, and once they've gotten them all, they'll pack them up safe and secure in a big box and ship it over to you.
A Simisty teacup? It's so obvious and so good! You can put your trash in it. And that's how I got all of this and more, but we're going to focus on Pokemon Ultimatch today.
But if Zen Market sounds like just the sort of thing you've been hoping for, then good news! You can register your account for free and get 740 Zen points with the promo code LOCKSTIN to get 740 yen off of the international shipping fee.
Check them out at the link below.
So now, what is Pokemon Ultimatch? Well, first of all, the starter set comes with an arena and Game Freak's favorites, Pikachu and Charizard. Bleh. And by using the latest in translation technology, we can see on the box that it says, "On the disc Pokemon Battle. Hit the hit point and say, return to the ball. Let's shoot each other at the stadium. If you hit the opponent's hit point, it will be beautiful to the pole." So yeah, I think that gets the point across. No? Well here we go. What is Pokemon Ultimatch? Fire discs to battle, catch, and train moves. The ultimate shooting hobby where you can become a trainer and experience the world of Pokemon. So this isn't just a game, no. It's a shooting hobby. And then there's a bunch of rules and different game types and stuff, both single and two-player. Get it with Carp! At its most basic, the gameplay is pretty simple. You and an opponent place your Pokemon on one of these three spots, preferably the middle if you're just starting out, and you fire away at each other. Hurrah! Action! But as soon as you shoot the other's hit point, their ball will close, signaling your victory. Rinse and repeat. Now, you only get so many shots, obviously. 10. If you run out, you're left wide open, because one of the key strategies of this game is also defending yourself by shooting the opponent's discs away. So do you play the game a little more cautiously, or do you go all-out offensive, rapidly firing with Lucario? You see, as of recording, this game has 5 expansions. 4 are pretty basic, just adding a new Pokemon, Lucario, Greninja, Koraidon, and Miraidon, and 1 is a big expansion that adds Black Rayquaza, as well as a whole new battle arena, which cleverly is just its packaging, the box that it came in, but flipped inside out. So I am really glad that the box wasn't damaged in shipping at all. In fact, it was pretty immaculate. Good job, Zen Market. Each of these extra Pokemon adds something new to the game, and I don't just mean the little Pokemon standees for flavor. Rather, I mean they each fire their discs differently. You'll notice Rayquaza has ball grips here.
I am not going to call them love handles.
But it having these means you have an extra attack option. You can squeeze these grips, which means you now have to push the trigger harder and more firmly before the launcher will let go of the disc, making the disc shoot out with a lot more force. It's very fitting of a powerful legendary Pokemon. In fact, the only other 2 with this grip ability are the other 2 legendaries, Koraidon and Miraidon. And being able to fire harder means that potentially you can shoot your opponent's disc away and keep plowing forward into them. Hey, want to see how hard I can pee? To test just how different they are, we decided to use the super scientific method of shooting discs at these wobbly Pokemon toys. This Espeon is being hit by a regular shot. Pretty fun. But now this Torchic is going to be smacked by a power shot. Okay, but really now. See? It's quite an impressive difference.
Relentless. Are you okay?
Yeah. But, of course, doing this means you can't fire quite as quickly, so give and take, strategy. You gonna defend yourself? You gonna attack harder? Who knows? But I do like how Rayquaza keeps things even a bit more different, though. Rather than just firing with more power, like Koraidon and Miraidon, it also applies spin to the disc, in either direction too. So, like a frisbee, it potentially is more stable for longer by supplying angular momentum. Now, it may seem unfair to give them advantages like that, but the other Pokemon have their advantages too. Unless they're Pikachu and Charizard, that is. They are definitely the, Marios demos of this game, and the franchise as a whole really, about as basic as possible. No frills, just straight and to the point, everybody knows them, they're the easiest to use because there's no fancy special ability or anything like that. They don't do tricks. They're just little disc shooters. But Greninja over here, Greninja is definitely the coolest in my opinion, but also perhaps the most difficult to wield. Greninja will actually shoot 2 discs at a time, like 2 water shurikens. But it gets tricky because they fire out in a V formation rather than directly where you're aiming, so that's definitely a pro and a con depending on which game mode you're playing. So maybe I wouldn't use Greninja for a simple versus match, but then again, having to angle yourself to shoot straight at the opponent does mean you have a bit of a defensive advantage, no? But Lucario is all about that smooth aura, or rather, smoothly textured plastic, making rapid fire of the discs feel a lot better. It's hard to show on camera, so I guess just trust me when I say it feels a lot nicer and easier to shoot faster with Lucario. It's like it's not fighting against me, it's just going with the flow. Always a smooth ride with that dog. Google Translate, everybody. So what are the other game modes? It claims there's 10, but really, most of these are just different setups for different single-player or turn-based games. They involve these little cardboard standees that you gotta knock over, and each of the expansions comes with more of them too. Oddly, some are pre-perforated so you can just push them out, but they look really bad compared to the ones that are a part of the box flaps on the One-Mon expansions. And sure, it's more work to cut them out with scissors, but the end result is just so much nicer looking. I like seeing the different Pokemon they come with though. Like by default, you get the Paldean starters, which makes perfect sense. And then you also get Garchomp, Metagross, and Gengar? Are those first 2 even in Paldea? Greninja's taking out some pseudo-legendaries, Koraidon and Miraidon some actual legendaries, including regular Rayquaza, which is a bit odd because, like, Black Rayquaza is here. But then I guess the Black Rayquaza comes with another stinking Pikachu and Charizard, so there's that. And, of course, Lucario comes with another furry to launch his disc load at. Also, Rayquaza comes with Golduck? Like, out of all of the Pokemon, Golduck? It's not even gold. So, setting up these other game modes is pretty basic. It's the reason the stadium is littered with these spots. You can place the standees in a line, horizontally or vertically, 2 different game modes, wow. Or you can place them on these 6 points here, or even these 6 over here for some bowling-style action. And then you try to take all of them out in as few shots as possible. Take turns with your friends to see who can do it better. Or maybe set them up as like target practice. Take individual turns, shooting 1 or 2 at a time. Who can take out the most? And you can also use the other Pokeballs as targets, set at an angle, with some standees in the way protecting it. The goal is to capture the Pokemon in as few shots as you can. And lastly, there is another 2-player versus mode, one with additional standees, and as long as you still have a standee standing on your side, you getting hit in your hit point doesn't count, so you gotta take out your opponent's standees first. Plus, you know, with kids being kids, they're just gonna make up their own rules and game modes all they want to. That's really the magic of toys like this. Like, right off the bat, here's an idea right now. It's a 2v2. That's not an official game mode, but you can do it. You have 2 hands, don't you? You probably have some difficulty doing Rayquaza's power shot, but it's a worthy sacrifice. You can just alternate. Pew! Pew! Oh yeah, does the Rayquaza arena offer anything different? Higher walls, definitely. The starter set has the rules and everything written on the back of the box, whereas Rayquaza's came with this, which is fitting, I suppose, because, again, the box became the arena once inverted. For game modes, though, there's not really a difference. Most are the same, but with different positions of the standees. But I like this one. It gets around the whole, here's a whole arena with only one playable figure kind of thing. Instead, you use the ball to, like, capture a Pokemon, right? But instead of firing a disc, you use your finger and you flick the discs at it. I guess it's kind of like throwing a Pokeball with your hands, yeah? Honestly, I do kind of like that, because it adds some unpredictability. It's a lot more difficult to be accurate with a flick. It's kind of like the unpredictability of how straight-faced or sober yours ends up looking. You see, straight out of the box, the Pokemon are rather plain, with just the greater details painted on. All the tiny details, from the bitsy little eyeballs to Rayquaza's individual stripes, or everyone's in-between-the-fingers coloration. Oh gosh, Koraidon's feathers, they are stickers. Egad, actually both of the Rhydons were a nightmare. My wife and I did a decent job on them, I think. Only one casualty, but we are well-coordinated gaming adults. And I just know that 7-year-old me would struggle to make them look anything but cross-faded. As for setting up the arenas themselves, they do come folded, and being cardboard, yeah, they're a bit flimsy and bumpy and soft. Not ideal for a disc shooting game straight out of the box, but after a few days flattened under some heavy books, yeah, we got the main arena set up pretty nicely. So, all in all, Pokemon Ultimatch is a pretty fun little romp. I do feel like there could be a tad more variety in how the Pokemon fire their discs, because like Koridon and Miraidon are the same, and Pikachu and Charizard are the same, and Lucario isn't that much different from Pikachu and Charizard. But I don't know, aside from maybe 2 discs stacked on top of each other, or one being tilted at an angle, I don't really have any ideas, but maybe you do. Let me know in the comments what disc firing abilities you can think of. Just remember, there's a big plastic barrier to prevent it from being high. But I also kind of lack ideas as to why it's not sold over here. I think American kids would love this. I mean, I certainly do.
You're 30!
No, I'm 29 in 10 months. But my inner child is still alive, clearly. I graduated before the bulletproof backpack era. But maybe that's why it's not sold over here. Not to associate Pokemon with real flying projectiles our kids are kind of traumatized by. No, that might be reaching. I'm sure it's just the same with all of this other stuff. It's just a tad too niche to be a safe thing to deal with bringing over here. And besides, the few people who do really want this kind of stuff will import it. Big thanks again to Zen Market for supporting us and making this possible. Be sure to use the promo code LOXEDIN to get 740 yen off of your first international shipping fee. Thanks for watching, and never stop using your noggin. Like whoever decided to make Lucario's dreads be this far in the way of putting the discs in? A safety feature. You can't shoot it if it's not like flat on a surface, which I think is pretty neato. I can't even spoof it.